What does it take to become successful? A lot of people ask me this question a lot, and I think one of the biggest things when it comes to creating success is really understanding these different traits. And every single year I've been in business now for 10 years, and I've created some notes for you today, and I'm going to give you the 10 traits on what I think it takes to become successful. So if you've been following me on Facebook Live, then do me a favor, if you've joined, then just say hi, let me know where you're dialing in from. And I'm going to go into the first one right now, right? The first trait to become successful, the first trait for you watching right now to become successful is to spend time working on your dreams. So a lot of times when I speak to people, I always find out, first of all, what they do in their spare time, because quite often I see that a lot of people, like right now, you could be doing anything tonight. You could be out, you could be spending time with friends, you could be going for drinks, but yet you made the time to be watching this. And I always believe that when you make time to do the things that you really want to do in your spare time, that's when success will come to you. So I'm going to give you a little tip to actually allow you to actually get that time. Okay, so if you're ready, give me a thumbs up, type in yes, right? So the first thing I want you to do, and I want you to try this out, right? I'm going to give you actionable stuff to go away and start trying so you can see how this works. So first thing you want to do is just spend 1 hour and wake up an hour early. So this becomes your hour ritual. This becomes your time. I think a lot of the times when people, they get lost in life, they get stuck in life, and life just gets in the way. So I want you to, number one, wake up an hour earlier. Now here's what it's going to do. If you wake up an hour early every single day, that's 365 hours. If you divide that by 24 hours, that actually works out at 15 hours 15 days extra, right? And that's just by, just working 1 hour early. Now, if you want to do extra and get a little bit more on that, then I'll give you the second task. And the second task is to go to bed 1 hour later. Because I find that if you go to bed an hour later, what you're going to find is you're going to get 15 days up front and you're going to get 15 days towards the back end as well, right? So just make sure that when you're doing this, that you just do this every single day. So an hour early, right? And you go to bed an hour later as well. So if you do that, that's going to give you an extra 30 days in 1 year, right? 30 days in 1 year. By the way, if you've joined, then do me a favor and introduce yourself and let me know where you're dialing from if you've joined. And I'll give you guys a shout out. So we've got Kesha, we've got Stefana, we've got Jennifer, my wife, who's joined. We've got Virginia, we've got Ben, Valerie, Stella, we've got Lorraine Fox, we've got Alicia, Rashid, Stefana. Okay, awesome. By the way, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a moment to just come on, and I'm going to go into the next couple of strategies. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually also going to do this online as well. So, because I know a lot of you now dialing in. And I'm going to go into the 10 different traits on how this actually works. By the way, you guys ready for number 2? If you're ready for number 2, then type in yes if you're ready for number 2. Okay, second strategy, right? Second strategy or second trait, if you will, is to get yourself educated. So I'm going to show you some of the things that we've got here, some of the things that I currently do, and I'm going to walk you through some of this. So, by the way, if you've just joined, then let me know where you're from and say hi. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this on my own page like this. Okay, so the second thing is get educated. So what do I mean by this? Well, a lot of the times we want to achieve success, but the thing is, I heard this saying that, you're never going to achieve $1 million dream with a minimum wage mindset. And it's true. So there's certain things that you can do to start getting more educated. And the first thing is just read a lot more books, right? So I'm dyslexic and it's no excuse, but I still read books. I still read articles. I'm constantly every single day educating myself. So I want you to think about this as well. What are you reading on a consistent basis? Is it the newspaper? Is it like magazines or maybe like, celebrity magazines, whatever it is? You want to start focusing on stuff that's going to put stuff into your brain that's going to empower you. So I'm going to give you some of the things that really work, and I tell you, this completely changed my whole life in terms of business. And when we talk about success, there's different types of success in our life, in our business life, in our personal life, you know, in spiritually as well, and also how happy you are. So a friend of mine actually gave me this thing here. It's huge, right? And one of the sections in here, right, and it's called Marketing, Television Secrets Marketing for Success, right? And you know, when I went through this, one of the things that we talk about is how to sell your product on infomercials, home shopping channels, and TV spot commercials from entrepreneurs who give you blockbuster products. So if you look at all this, the reason why I think education is so important, I'm not talking about formal education, I'm talking about self-education. You actually go out there and you find the stuff and you do the stuff and you put that stuff into your brain. Because actually I don't if you agree with this, I don't think that, you know, we can just like click our fingers and become successful. You know, there's no such thing as a get rich quick. If anyone tells you you can just click your fingers then you'll become rich overnight, it doesn't work like that, right? You've got to put some, you know, work, you've got to put some skin in the game, you've got to get educated. If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up, give me some love hearts. All right, so the first thing when you're getting self-educated is books is really, really good. Now, if you don't like books or you're like me and you can't really read very well, then I would suggest there's an app called Audible. And Audible is an app that you can just literally download and all the books are on there. So if you just type in the title of a book, so for example, a really good book that I highly suggest is a book called Blink. Oh, it looks the opposite. Is this the back to front? I can't get over this. It's like it looks back to front from here. Is it back to front? If it is, then say yes. If it's back to front, then type in back to front, right? So books are really good. Audible versions. Now, one of the things I love to do with Audibles is like, if I'm not doing an intensity workout or heavy lifting, if I'm doing like a light jog, I'll listen to audio and audio books and I'll play them twice as fast as well. So if I play them twice as fast, it means I can now consume a lot more books quicker. By the way, what books have you read in the last 6 months that you would highly recommend? Let me know what books that you've got so that I can start getting some ideas there. And by the way, if you've just joined, introduce yourself, say hi, and let me know where you're dialing in from. So we've got Valerie, we've got Ben, who else we got on here? We've got Matt. Hey, Matthew Martin, how you doing? We've got Anna, we got Princess, we've got Perjo, Alicia, Veronica. Hey Veronica, how you doing? Say hi to Vanessa for me. Laura, hey Laura, how you doing? Good job. Deborah, Rashminda, awesome, great job guys. Okay, so second thing that I want to talk about is seminars, right? So more and more what's happening right now, I think one of the biggest trends that's happening is this whole concept of not an entrepreneur, but a solopreneur, right? So what is a solopreneur? A solopreneur is somebody that takes their ideas, actions their ideas, and it's just them in their business without having to have a whole team. And the good thing about solopreneurs, you can work from anywhere in the world, which I think is pretty awesome. All right, Vincent says frozen video. Frozen, is it? If it's working, then just type in yes. I'm having a few challenges with my internet connection. So if it's live and if it's working now, just type in 1 and hit enter, just so I don't want to carry on speaking if it's frozen, okay? So seminars, I look for as many seminars or workshop or conferences, and you know, you'll be surprised in how much you can learn, because the thing with these conferences and seminars and workshops is that they're designed to shortcut and kind of get you to that next level. So if I show you an example on this, would you guys like to see an example? If you like to see an example, type in example, and I'm going to draw it onto for here. So quite often what happens is you go through this process, you think it's a straight line from like here to here. It doesn't look straight, does it? Hold on, let me do it again. All right, there's a straight line here like this, okay? Well, as straight as I can be trying to do this, right? So when we're going through this straight line, in the middle there's always going to be that's a problem when you try and do this and this at the same time. So you always get all these like trials and tribulations in the middle. The idea is when you go to these events, the idea is to shortcut that part there and then go through and shortcut to the other side. That's how it's supposed to be, right? And a lot of the times when you're not going to seminars, you're not going to events, you're not going to conferences, then you're not getting the latest information. I'll give an example. So an event I used to run a year ago, I run the same event, the content's completely different because technology moves on, life moves on, the world moves on. Am I right? Yes or no? If I'm right, give me some thumbs up. And by the way, do me a favor, because one of the things I want to do is I want to empower a lot more entrepreneurs. And if you've been following my work, if you've read my book, if you've attended any events, do me a favor and share this video. Around this video, there's going to be a share button. Click the share button and share it. I'm going to do that as well. So I'm going to share to a page. And let's share this right now. Okay. And again, the reason why I do this is I want a lot of people to learn a lot of things that you're currently learning right now. And I think if we all learn together and we all help each other, then I think that's going to be a win-win situation. If it's a win, type in win. Okay. Another thing that I love to do as well is webinars, right? So webinars are also good. Any webinar you can jump on, right? Just jump on it and then get the information. Because a lot of times people are giving you the latest information on a webinar. And that's why, you know, I always said that success is defined by what you do in your spare time. I mean, look, I could be doing anything tonight. I could be out going for drinks. I could be having dinner. I could be going whatever. But I choose to commit to do this because I know for those of you who are not out drinking and partying and you make the time to watch this, I know you're successful and I know you're going to be successful because you could be doing something very different today. You know, we know what day it is today, right? So that's number 2. If you've just joined, we're talking about the 10 traits on what it takes to become successful, right? 1, we talked about working on your dreams in your spare time. What you do in your spare time defines who you are. Number 2 is to get self-educated, not just get formal education, but self-education, right? We talked about different books. So this book's really cool. It's called Blink. And the reason why this book's so cool is every single one of you have an inner gift and you have this intuition and how to achieve something. And from time to time, you tap into that. And the goal is to keep tapping into the flow so you always get the results. Another really good book, if you're in business, this is a really good book, Psychology. Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, right? I got to tell you, I read this book many years ago and it served me so well in my property company, in my consulting company, in my online businesses, in what I write, in how I present and talk. You know, it's a very good book. And also, if you can, this is a really good, cool book as well. It's by Joseph Sugarman, and a lot of this stuff talks about the secrets on what it takes to write copy in such a way that people will buy your products, and then you can create a lot more success, right? Okay, so we're gonna go to number 3, trait number 3. If you're ready for number 3, type in 3, and I'm gonna give you a shout out. Type in 3, I'll give you a shout out. So we've got Valerie, Milan, Paolo, Alza, Rashminda, Laura. Wow, there's a lot of you on here. We got Milan, Rockman, Chris. How you doing? Laura, good to see you. Rashminda, Stella, Rackman, Vincent, Valerie, Keisha, Leroy. Fantastic. Awesome. Okay, cool. So trait number 3 is you have to put in the work. I know, by the way, this is not rocket science. It's just as I was designing this, I was thinking, what do I do? If I'm going to pick the 10 things that I constantly do to allow me to create a lot more success in my life, in financially, spiritually, health, happiness, all these things. These are the things that I do. So you've got to put the work in. And what that means is you've got to constantly make a commitment to deliver what it is that you need to do. So let me ask you right now, what things do you do on a consistent basis every single day? Like what do you do? Right? What commitments do you commit to? Because putting in the work means that you got to do it every single day. I'll give an example. My business partner Vincent Wong, if you've seen him recently, he's he's in extremely good shape. And why? Because he's made a commitment. I mean, even though he's really, really busy with business and with his company doing some big things this year, he's still able to find the time to commit and to get to that next level. And that's why you got to do it every single day. And here's what's going to happen. You might not want to do it every single day, but guess what? Even when you don't want to do it, you still have to do it. That's the secret, right? Even if you don't want to do it, you still have to do it. Okay? And you got to do it even when you don't feel like doing it. And even if you think you have no time, trust me, there's always time, right? You can never, get an extra hour or an extra 2, you can't have like 26, 27 hours in a day. But you know what? There's never time, so you have to actually create that time. You have to make that time. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a thumbs up. All right, give me a thumbs up. Okay, so number 4, right? Let me give you number 4. You ready for number 4? By the way, if you like this, give me some love hearts, and I'm gonna show you some really awesome stuff with this one. This is a biggie. This one, you get this one right, you don't really have to do much. This is the catalyst that will provide that success in your life. So if you're ready for number 4, type in number 4. If you're ready for number 4, type in number 4, right? And again, if you've just joined, then would you like me to recap the first 3 steps that you missed? So I know some of you missed the first step. So the first traits, okay, we're talking about 10 traits on what it takes to become successful. Trait 1, what you do in your spare time defines how successful you'll be. Trait 2, get self-educated. Step 3 is you've got to put in the work, make the commitment, right? Trait 4, right? Trait 4 is you must, and I repeat, you must take the courage and embrace and take the risks, right? Why do I say this? Because I know a lot of people right now, we try and play safe. Now let me ask you a question, and I'm going to ask you this question honestly. If you play a game of football on defense, are you likely to win the game? Yes or no? Type in yes or no, right? Most of the times you won't, right? So you've got to play in attack, because if you play in attack, you have a chance of winning. And that's why I always say to people that, every single time they're trying to get in to do something, they're always doing it with some kind of resistance, like either do it or don't do it, right? Make a decision. So trait 4 is having the courage, right? And here's another question I'm gonna say to you. This is something I put in my notes for you. It's like, if you don't take that risk, there is 0 chance anything's gonna happen. If you don't put that commitment, you don't take that decision, you don't make that decision, there's gonna be 0 risk, right? Sorry, not 0, 0 chance of you actually getting a particular result that you want. But let's say you were to take action. Let's say you were to go out there and work towards your success. Now you have a chance. Now, I always say to people, and this is something that I do with myself, I always say, well, what's the worst that can happen, right? So when I went into property investing in my first company, I said to myself, what's the worst that can happen? Well, I could lose everything and I could just start again, right? So every single time I always go to make a decision, or I need that courage to move forward. Like some of you right now, there's a decision you got to make in order for your life to improve, and you instinctively know that, but you're not doing it. Am I right? If I'm right, give me some thumbs up, give me some love hearts. I know this because I've trained thousands of people all around the world, and I know what it takes to get them to that level. And these are the 10 things that you need. You got to have that courage to take the risk. You got to have the courage to take the risk. And I always say to myself, like, do you want to know what I do? Every time I go and make a decision, either to start a business, to invest in a company, to do something that I'm afraid of, right? I always ask myself the question, what is the worst case scenario? In fact, I want you to type that in for me. Type that into the chat box for me. What is the worst case scenario? So if I'm going into an investment, I think to myself, what's the worst case scenario? Well, I lose the investment that I put in. Big deal, right? The worst thing you want to lose is time. You don't want to lose time, because time you can always get back, but time you can't get back, but money, sorry, I can't get it mixed up because I'll leave you writing these messages. Time you can't get back, but money you can always make back. If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up. All right, like, by the way, if you've just joined, let me know where you are dialing in from, and I will give you a shout out. So let's see who has joined. Well, there's quite a lot of you. We've got Bobby, we've got Jolanta, we've got Valerie, we've got Virginia, we've got Vincent, we've got Nadine, we've got Rob, we've got Judy, Jane, Stefania, Rashid Hassan, Mustuna, Afrola, Vincent. Okay, brilliant, fantastic, good. Okay, so, and here's another thing as well. Sometimes you got to take a leap of faith. All right, let me give you a scenario here. All right, let me give you a scenario. Before I do that, I'm going to say hi to everybody. Ollie, we've got Ollie from Slough, Julia from London, Rackman from Mumbai. By the way, is anyone watching this who's not in the UK? If you are, then let me know where you're from. We've got Pushna, we've got Patrick from Service, we've got who else we got here? If you just joined, just say hi and I'll give you a shout out. Okay, so, and also as well, another thing, you got to take a leap of faith, because let me tell you, a lot of you right now, you are, imagine you're in a plane 35,000 feet up, right? And then when you open the door, you're looking out and you're constantly looking out, but you're not taking that jump, because if you don't take that jump, nothing is going to happen, right? You must make that commitment to jump. You got to have that leap of faith that if you jump out of the plane, then there's a pretty high chance the parachute's going to open. Now, there may be a chance that it might not open, absolutely. But, you know, I'm going to tell you this. Every single time you got to do something, you've got to have this mentality, right? And there are always risks. There's always risks, right? So let me see. We've got Saru from Frankfurt. Richard we've got Patrick from Bratislava. Fantastic. Albert from Brighton. Okay. So that's number 4. Let me go to number 5 right now. If you're ready for number 5, type in yes if you're ready for number 5, and I'll give you number 5. Now, 5, this is the one that I always believe that is the number one thing, that the reason why people don't get what they want in life, because they're not doing this number 5. Okay, number 5 is asking for help, right? You must ask for help. A lot of people don't ask for help, right? You know, like when I was writing this, I want you to start thinking about where you are right now, right? You know, who can you call upon right now to help you? You know, I have people come to me for coaching and they pay me a lot of money for me to coach them, right? And part of that coaching is, you know, they can call my PA, they can schedule a one-to-one session with me, and then I can speak directly to them on a one-to-one basis. Right? But do you know what? Some people say, oh, John, you know, I didn't get value from this. And I said, how many times have you contacted me? 0. How many times have you contacted my PA? 0. How many times have you had a coaching call with your coach? 0. How many programs have you been through? 0. How many mastermind sessions have you attended? 0. How can you get value from something if you don't consume it? You understand what I'm saying? So you must ask for help. You can't do everything yourself. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a thumbs up, give me some love hearts, right? And also as well, when you're creating success in your life, there's different people that come into your life that will allow you to get different things. So for example, some of you are really good at you know, networking. Some of you are really good at other things. Some of you are really good at systems and technology. Some of you are good with the internet, whatever it is, right? I just find that most of the time, like, you must ask for help. You can't do this by yourself. It's really, really, really hard to do stuff by yourself, right? And we got J1 says, don't just try, do it. J1, you're absolutely right. You just got to do it, and you got to take massive action, and then you get to those results. And that's why it's so effective. Okay, now number 6, right? Oh, another thing, just come on, number 5. You must take time to train others as well. Right? I found that every single time I'm able to take what's in here and then pass it on to other people, then I'm able to scale up what I do. The problem is most people spend most of the time by themselves. They spend most of the time doing everything themselves, and then they have this mindset. You want to know what the mindset is? Ask me what's the mindset. Type it in. Ask me what's the mindset. The mindset is, if you want something doing right, then you must do it yourself. If you want something doing right, then you must do it yourself. That is the wrong mindset. You do not want to think like that. If you think like that, then you're going to be relegated for doing that job for the rest of your life. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a thumbs up, right? Like this. And by the way, if you've just joined, and you're finding this useful and you're getting a lot of value from this, then what I'd love for you to do around this video, there's going to be a share button, right? Do me a favor and share this, because I want to take my years of wisdom and I really want to help other people go through these challenges so they don't have to go through that whole squiggle thing that I showed. Do you guys remember? I showed you here, right? So you don't have to go through this. This is what people have to go through most of the time, and they have to learn this stuff by themselves. But do you know what? This here, in fact, I want you to take a screen grab of this. Take a screen grab, all right? And I want this to be a daily reminder, right? Take the screen grab, put it on your phone, print it out, put it somewhere on your wall, and every time you come to go, oh, I'm going to do this stuff myself, ask for help so you don't have to consume with this part here, right? Again, it's really, really important that you understand this. This whole mindset of asking people for help. And you know, I grew up in a, Chinese family, and, we was always taught that to ask for help means that you're not smart enough, you're not intelligent enough, means you're not clever, means you don't have what it takes. And so I believe that some of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world are people that actually ask for help. Look at Richard Branson. He's got like 400 companies around the world, and he's a multi-billionaire. Do you think it's just him in there? No, he's got thousands and thousands of employees that work for him and his companies. And that's why you must always ask for help. Even right now, whatever you're struggling with right now, like, let me ask you right now, what's your biggest challenge? Because after I finish this, I'll go back through this, these comments, and I'm gonna, either myself or one of my team will reply and give you some hand holding. All right. So you must train others on how to do this. And also, if you don't know how, then what do you got to do? If you don't know how, you just have to ask. Ask and you shall what? Receive. Ask and you shall receive. This is, if you can just get over this, I promise you that more things will start to happen in your life, right? When you start reaching out and you start asking for help, people will come to you. They've got the answers. I don't have all the answers, right? My mentors don't have the answers. But you know what? There's someone in my network that does have the answers. All I got to do is ask, right? So type in, ask and you shall receive. By the way, the reason I'm getting you to type it in is because when people come on late, they can walk through the different steps, and they can see which one is which. So remember, if you've just joined, I'm going to just recap very quickly, because I know some of you have joined halfway through. So would you like me to recap it? If you like to recap really quick, then give me a thumbs up and some love hearts, and I'll tell you what it is. 1 is you got to work on your dreams in your spare time. What you do in your spare time defines your success. 2, get self-educated. 3, put in the work, make the commitment. 4, have courage and take risks. 5, ask for help. And number 6, my God, this one, right? When I figured this out, when I really started to do number 6, my whole life changed. My businesses went from here to here. My personal life went from here to here. My health went from here to here. Would you like to know what number 6 is? Trait number 6 on what it takes to become successful. If you'd like to do that, type in 6. And if you've just joined, then let me know where you have come from, and I'm going to give you a shout out. We've got Vincent, we've got Valerie, we've got Mistuna, we've got Maria Joes, we've got Sat Rich, we've got Kishihei, we've got Marlene, we've got Laura, fantastic, Bobby, hey Bobby, we got, oh by the way, Bobby, we are have a meeting with Master Wang, so yeah, thanks for setting that up. Around Fox, we've got Mistuna. Do you want other devices can help you other route when you stuck? Absolutely. Finances, raising money, direction. We've got Mina, technology. We've got Bara, Udin. Fantastic. Okay, so remember, if you've just joined, have a look at that. All right, so these are some of the notes. So number 6, this is like, when you get to that level, number 6, the trait to become successful is to protect your time. I'm going to say that again. Is to protect your time. Every single second that goes by is gone forever. Every second. So, do you know when people spend time with me and I spend time with them, I see it as one of the biggest gifts. It's the biggest gift. Would you agree with that, by the way? If you agree with that, give me a thumbs up, give me some love hearts, type in yes. Right? I believe that time is our biggest asset. It's a gift. Right? And this is the gift that our Creator has given to us. So we must protect that gift. My time is fine. At every single hour in my calendar, I know exactly what I'm doing. And I'm in a very fortunate position now to be able to do what I want to do whenever I want to do it. And tonight, on this day, I choose to be with you. I choose to add some value. I choose to make an impact. I choose to, really say something that I hopefully will trigger a switch in your head that will allow you to achieve more in your life. And here's a little tip for this. And I'm going to tell you this, and it might sound a little bit weird when I say this, but this comes from one of the richest men in the world, right? His name is Warren Buffett. And he says one of the biggest reasons why he is super wealthy, right? Are you ready for this? Are you ready? If you're ready, type in ready, right? He said one of the biggest reasons why he is where he is today is because he has the ability to say no. He has the ability to say no. What does that mean? That means whatever you want to do right now, there's so many distractions that are coming in. There's friends asking you to do this. There's business partners asking you to do this. There's people asking you to go for drinks. There's people asking you to do X, Y, and Z. There's like a million things that people can do right now. But the problem is you're being pulled in every direction. And the problem is you're saying yes to everything. Am I right? Yes or no? If I'm right, type in yes. Give me thumbs up. I know that. So a part of what you need to do to protect your time is to be able to say no to things. And sometimes that might mean missing a big opportunity, right? I'll give an example. About 2 years ago, I had another opportunity to fly halfway around the world to speak on stage with Sir Richard Branson in front of 3,500 people, right? So what did that mean? That meant I would have to fly 15 hours. I'd have to take, at least a week out, because even though you fly there, fly back, it takes time to adjust, right? So I thought to when I was speaking to my business partner, I said, John, when you get back, you're going to be knackered. And, we got this really important meeting we're going to attend to. And it was really, really hard to say no. It was so hard to say no. But I knew that if I said no to this, then I would get back my time. I'll get my thought process. Because what happens, we always say, when I travel somewhere, I'll just do my work on the plane. And you never do. Right, sometimes, but then you just end up watching movies or going to sleep or, doing things on the plane, right? The focus time of what it takes to become successful, that time, the flow in what needs to happen to get to where you want to get to, that is so important. If you agree with me, type in, give me an 8 and type in 8 if you agree with me. And I'm going to see where you guys have dialed in from. So we've got Loreth, we've got Sat Rich, we've got Chandra, we've got Krishna, we've got Chris. Chris says that's right, John. Amara says 8. We've got Marilyn. We've got Laura. Hey Laura, how you doing? We got Kashay. Hey. Bobby says 8. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that. Sat Rich as well. Fantastic. Good. So again, really, really, really. Important just to protect your time, right? Also as well, get rid of pointless meetings, right? A lot of the time people do things and they always have these meetings. Oh, let's go for a meeting. And then you end up eating and drinking a lot and drinking a lot of coffee. Forget that if the meeting does not serve a purpose, and here's another thing to protect your time. Never do a face-to-face meeting if the face-to-face meeting can be done over Skype or over the phone. Right? And in your meeting, have an agenda. So if someone asks you for a meeting, say, that's great, okay, and allocate the time. So when I start saying to people, if you want to meet me, right, or I want to meet you on a Skype call, then I'll say something like, maybe you should just send me the agenda first. So send me the agenda, and once the agenda comes in, and then what I'll do is I'll say, okay, so I've allocated 15 minutes, so from here to here, right? So from 12 to maybe 1 o'clock, right? So I'll allocate that time, and then when I do that meeting, okay, so your agenda is you want to go through this, 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 and this. So now you're on point. So now you're not wasting time chit-chatting about stuff, which is how most meetings go, isn't it? You go for a meeting, you end up talking about your day and how things work, and it's not until the last part of the meeting when you start getting into the bone, like into the meat, right? So that's number 6. Now, number 7, right? Number 7, okay? Again, I keep saying everyone's important, but this one is really important. In fact, what I'd love for you to do me a favor and share this Facebook Live right now. And I want to tell you what number 7 is, because I want other people to see and really understand this trait, right? Number 7, okay, is never stop until you get the result that you want. Never stop until you get the result you want. Let me tell you a very quick story. So when I first started in business and entrepreneurship, one thing that was really important for me was to close deals and to go out and get sales and to make sales. And quite often I'd pick up the phone and 3 people would say no to me. I'd put the phone down and I'd spend the rest of the day trying to talk myself out of something, right? To talk myself, out of, making phone calls, right? And unfortunately, what happens is every single time I went to give up is the moment I kept pushing on, and that moment, and every single time I would push on is when I would actually close the deal. So the reason I tell you this is, like, if you want to become successful, then you got to keep going and keep pushing at stuff that, is always gonna the result that you want. So if you're trying to lose weight, keep going until you lose weight. If you want to make more money, keep going until you make more money. If you want to have better relationships, keep working in relationship till it gets better. But you got to do something, right? The reason I tell you this is that a lot of people, they stay in this like freeze mode. So they go, and they're kind of like frozen. And they feel like emotionally or mentally paralyzed, and they don't go and do anything. And what happens? They just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. So you got to never stop until you get the things that you want, right? Remember the tortoise and the hare, right? You can run really fast, but I'd rather you walk forward 1 mile per hour than not walk forward at all, right? If you like this, give me a thumbs up, right? Keep moving forward. When your body says stop, you keep going, right? Because it's only until we actually push ourselves outside of that comfort zone is actually the time when we actually start to create more success. Would you agree with that? It's not until you can push yourself out of the place that is the most uncomfortable is when you start to achieve results. In fact, I want you to tell me, type in, what's one thing that you have pushed past that you didn't give up on, that you're so glad that you didn't give up, that you're so glad that you did not give up. What's the one thing? Type it in for me, and what did that do for your life? What did that do for your life? Okay, and you got to be relentless. Vince, my business partner, says you got to be relentless. Like you got to want it so bad that it becomes top of your mind. It's the number one thing on top of your mind every time you wake up, when you go to sleep, when you're having a conversation with someone. It's always on the top priority. It's your default movement back to what you want to do, and that's how bad you want it. If you're kind of like, yeah, well, I kind of want it, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it. If you've got to put it off, you don't want it bad enough, right? You've got to want to do this. You've got to want success. And if you're, there's nothing wrong with, doing what you normally do, and that's fine. But I'm just saying that you want to be the better version of you. You want to be the best in wealth, health, in your relationships, in your happiness. Then these are the things you got to do, right? You got to make a sacrifice. You got to, if you want to lose weight, you got to give up chocolate. Well, not always. You can have a little bit of a treat, right? But if you want to lose weight, you got to go to the gym and work out and work your ass off, right? You got to sweat. If you don't sweat at the gym, what's the point in going, right? You don't push yourself. You don't lift the weights heavier. What's the point? You always got to be pushing yourself to that next level. Even when you've achieved something, you get to the next level. And here's the thing. right? We've got Valerie, we've got Jingwen, we've got Krishna. Absolutely, right? Absolutely, right? Mishtuna. Push past the pain, because the pain is only temporary. But the result, when you get it, it will expand who you are, okay? So that is number 7, right? Number 8. Are you ready for number 8? Type in 8 and do me a favor and share this so more people can learn from this. Again, if you've just joined, let me know where you're from, and I'm gonna give you a shout out. We've got Valerie, we've got Mina, we've got Carolina. Hello from Liverpool. We've got Janolta, Jolantra, Kesha. Great. This is number 8. Bobby says 8. Fantastic. Okay, so number 8. This is and if you, by the way, do any of you follow me on Instagram? Do you watch any of my Instagram stories? If you do, then just type in Instagram for me. The reason why I say this is, if you ever watch my Instagram stories, I'm either in 3 places, either in my office, at the gym, or an event. Now, call me boring, but these things are things that get to the next level. Juliet from Manchester. Hey, Juliet. My hometown in Manchester. Well, not far from Manchester. So number 8, you must work on your health, right? Work on your health. Why do I say this? Because a lot of people say to me, John, how can you have so much energy? It's because I go to the gym almost every day, right? If you see me when I'm abroad, I go to the gym. If you see me, there was one time when I haven't told anyone this before, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you guys something that I haven't told anyone. You guys want to know this? If you want to know, type in yes, right? There was one time where I was so desperate to work out that I was on the Emirates plane, and when you're traveling first class in Emirates, you get a shower, right? So, but you're only supposed to go in the shower to have a shower. So what I did is I said to the air stewardess, I said, hey, look, I'd like to book my slot, because every passenger has to book a slot to have a shower on the plane, right? And there's only, in a 12 or 13 hour flight, you've only got certain time slots, and your time slot, actually your shower only lasts 5 minutes. So when I went in there, I did 100 push-ups. I went in and did 100 push-ups, and I was doing some crunches as well. And, it's like you can do it anywhere. Like, there's no excuses. My business partner, Vincent Wong, there was one time he didn't have time to go to the gym. So you know what he did? He came backstage with a skipping rope and did 3,000 skips, right? There's always time for your health. And, I remember once, have you guys heard of a gentleman by the name of Robin Sharma? Have you heard of him? I remember listening to one of his podcasts many years ago, and one thing that really stuck into my mind is this. All right, this saying is probably going to change the way you think about your health, and it's going to change the way you think about what you put into your body and how you exert yourself as well. Okay. He said, "Those who don't make time for health will eventually make time for illness. Those who don't make time for health will eventually make time for illness." In fact, I would love for you to type that in for me so everybody can read this. And also, and by the way, some of you are saying, why are you getting me to message all the time and keep typing in? The reason why I do this is what we call interactive learning, right? If you ever come to any events, by the way, if you've come to any of our Wealth Dragons events, give me a thumbs up and some love. Because if you've ever experienced it, we do something called active learning. Active learning means I'm not just talking to you. I want you to take down notes. I want you to type things in, because when you have to type something in and hit enter, instinctively what happens in your brain, it's gone in a level conscious deeper, right? So you have to understand it better. In fact, sometimes in my events, I get you to say it out and teach people next to you, but because there's, you're watching me from a screen, there's no one next to you. Actually, if there is, you can teach them as well. So it gets a level deeper. That's the reason why I keep getting you to, like, love, and comment, and so on and so forth. Right? We've had Edwin that's just joined. We've got Miriam. Nice active learning allows you to stay focused. Absolutely. Juliet, for those that don't make time, fantastic. Celeste says Robin Sharma is amazing. Yep. John, you answer my. Bobby says, spend time to become healthy and prevent time wasted in healing and illness. Absolutely. Deborah says, those who want to make time for health, make time for illness. Absolutely. Okay. Now, and another thing that I do for health as well is at least once a day you need to do some form of exercise. So at the very least, and this is something really good for entrepreneurs and to get a lot more success in business, just go for a half an hour walk. I learned this from Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs would go for a walk every single day because that would be his thinking time. In fact, I said to my business partner recently, I said, how come like you always go to the gym? Like, I mean, I know he used to go to the gym before, but he spends like 2.5, 3 hours in the gym sometimes. And I said, why? He says, bro, it's not just a mental workout for me. This is where I get my best ideas. And he's absolutely right. Because when I'm flying on a plane 35,000 feet up, that's also sometimes when I get a lot of my ideas where there's no distractions. My thoughts are kind of like in the thought flow process, right? The thought flow process. So I make sure that, you know, my nutrition is good. So again, if you've been watching my Snapchat, and by the way, I do this, what we call an 80-20. My personal trainer, Andy, says to me, John, you know, don't be all or nothing. Don't do this and just don't do that. He said, look, do an 80-20. So the 80-20 is 80% of the time I eat clean. So, you know, nothing, like try and boil everything. Try not to use oil if you can help it. Eat lots of healthy leafy greens. So just buy yourself loads of broccoli, loads of spinach, and then just boil it, and then you can just eat it anytime you want, right? In fact, this morning, if you'd have watched my snap, then you would have seen that. We've got my brother, Mr. Hall, that's joined. Hey, brother, how you doing? I hope you're well. Mr. Phil Spence, wow, long time no speak, my friend. I hope you're well, and congratulations, by the way. I've been following your Facebook, and well done for your little one. Okay, so another thing as well, another little tip is this, right? This is my second bottle today. This is a 1.5 liter bottle. If you can see, so I've drank like about 3 liters a day. I think this is really important because the more hydrated you are, the clearer you can think, right? And in fact, the best time to drink the water is when you're training, because you get something called cellular hydration. That means when your cells are getting trained, they kind of like stick together, and then the hydration passes from one cell to another. In fact, that's what my personal trainer taught me. And another thing that I highly recommend you do as well, supplements, right? So if you look at maybe one day I'm going to show you my supplements cupboard, and you'll see how much supplements I have. Like things like, vitamin C's. I've got L-glutamites, I've got, omega-3s, I've got the B, and it's not just that, like, health, like, I'm really conscious of my health, because, I'm getting old. I mean, this year I know I look a lot younger than I am, but if you were to know how old I was, then you're like, no way, John, are you that age already? I said, yeah, so you got to look after yourself, you got to keep clean, right? Korean ginseng, absolutely. Jen, I was actually in, where was I? I was in Busan or Seoul, and I actually bought a whole crate. Literally, I'm not kidding. It's like filled a whole suitcase, and I just brought all this like top grade Korean ginseng. And if you've got the budget for it, it's like $5,000 for the best. But when you eat this, you notice the instant difference. So you need to. I mean, I'm not giving you any health advice here. I'm just telling you what I do, and I just noticed that a lot of the people who are very, very successful and they achieve a lot, because as an entrepreneur and a business owner, that you have to face a lot. It's like, imagine every single day people are throwing rocks at you, right? And you gotta and you're walking through this storm, right? And then you're walking in sand, and it's like waist deep, and then it starts hailstoning, and it's hot, and you're walking through. You need that protection, right? Your health. There's no point in being the richest person in the graveyard. That's another thing I heard that really stuck with me. So, supplements. Now, one thing I have started doing recently is meditation. So sometimes, being an entrepreneur and a business owner, sometimes you're not going to get much sleep. So one thing my personal trainer keeps telling me, he says, sleep deprivation, it's really hard to get that back. So one of the things I've started doing now, 15-minute naps. And one of the things my wife keeps saying to me says, babe, don't sleep in the bed. I said, if you sleep in the bed, then, you wake up groggy. So one of the things I'm going to start doing now is actually sleep on the sofa. So I've downloaded this app, and then it just walks you, it times you for 5 minutes. So whenever you're feeling stressed, go into like this meditation, and it's not really meditation. I just kind of lie there flat, and I just take some deep breaths in, because when you breathe in, hold and breathe out, it slows down your heart rate as well. So then you kind of think clear, and you get into that space of when you can see, you know that saying of you can't see the woods through the trees. Have you ever heard that saying before? If you have, give me a thumbs up. Mike says, I meditate a lot. Jim Wan says, my favorite is sleeping on the sofa in summer. Absolutely, it's a great. Victor says, Headspace, try this out. Okay, I'm going to give that a try. I think it is actually called Headspace, actually. It walks you through this whole meditation. It's brilliant. Right? Jogging helps clear the mind. Absolutely, jogging creates and produces more endorphin. You feel happier. And also as well, when you're breathing in the air as well, if you ever have a cold, sometimes it's good to go for a run, because it actually unblocks your nose, right? So that's another thing you can do as well. But if you're really ill, then don't do that. Okay, so yoga. So anyone know any good yoga teachers? I've been doing a lot of research on yoga recently, and one connection that I've made is a lot of successful entrepreneurs actually do a lot of yoga. A lot of people have achieved a lot in their life. A lot of them either do some form of gym training, but a lot of them do yoga, right? So, and that's going to be, and I'll give you my experience on that when I try it out and see what happens. Okay, so we're up to number 9 now. So trait number 9. By the way, are you guys enjoying this? If you guys enjoying this, type in yes. Join this, type in yes. And I'll give you a quick recap. Do you want me to recap this now, all 9? Or shall I recap once I finish? If you want me to recap once I finish, just type in once I finish. We've got Bob in here, we've got Deo, we've got Valerie, we've got Jen says, Pilates build up core strength, physical and mentally. Fantastic, I'll give that a try. Amira says, sometimes I sleep on my yoga mat and wake up the next morning. Wow, I'm going to give that a try. Yoga meditation. Mia says jogging. Abdul says swimming is a great way to relax. Actually, I used to do a lot of swimming, a lot. I mean, no excuse, and I'm gonna do more swimming. Okay, let's go on to number 9 now, right? So number 9 now. If I say this to you, you're probably going to be like, John, is this easier said than done? And it is easier said than done, but it's just what I've noticed in a lot of the successful people that I've met. So if you're ready for number 9, type in 9. Give me some thumbs up and some love. Okay, number 9 is stop worrying about what other people think. Stop worrying about what other people think. In other words, stop caring about what other people think, because a lot of the times when you want to do something and then you have to second guess yourself because you're worried about what your friends are going to think, what your parents are going to think, what even your husband, wife, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend's going to think, instinctively deep down inside you know what's right, you know what to do, right? So I used to bother me a lot. It used to bother me a lot. Like, I used to do, I put a lot of videos. In fact, even till this day, I put so much content out there, so much great value. I take my own time to do this. No one pays me to do this. I do this out of my free will, out of my time. You know what? People say, oh yeah, this sucks, and who do you think you are? And I've still got a lot of like negative comments, and even till this day, racist comments, right? I cannot tell you the amount of emails I get from people every day, with, Ching Chong Chinaman and all that stuff. And, and it used to bother me a lot. Now, I don't care, right? I'd rather spend more time with the people that actually love the work that I do, rather than the people who are, they and actually another reason why I do this is because all those negative people, those haters, they float to the top. I just delete them, right? They float to the top. I delete them. I ban them. They can't get access to this stuff anymore. So this is, and they're missing out on this stuff, and that's why, I don't want, and don't just think that it happens to you. It happens to me. It happens to Vincent, right? It happens to Richard Branson. Happens to Mark Zuckerberg. Anyone who has achieved a lot of success in their life, always has some kind of criticism. If you've ever experienced this before, by the way, tell me some kind of experiences that you experienced, and tell me if this has happened to you. Type in, it's happened to me as well. So everybody watching tonight can see that it's not just about them. It happens to everybody. If it's happened to you, give me some love. All right? So you're just going to start believing in yourself more. You're just going to start doing whatever it takes to get to where you want to get to. And you know what it is, but you can see the path and you can see it's going to be painful. Right? Let me tell you again, there is no such thing as a get rich quick. Right? There's only such thing as a get rich slow. And you have to put the time in. Right? You have to change the way you think. In fact, a lot of the time, it's not about what you have to do to get the result. It's about the person you have to become. If you agree with me, give me some likes, right? And here's the thing, right? Don't worry if you fail, right? Don't worry if you fail, because failure is inevitable. You will have to fail. You have to go through something to fail. You have to go because that failure is a part of the new learning process, right? When you fail, it's actually an opportunity for someone to say, hey, this is just the wrong way to do it. Try it this way, right? Okay, so stop thinking about what other people think, right? Just care about what you think and care about the good that you're putting out into the world. There's so much negativity in this world. There's so much hate in this world. If we just gave more love, if we gave more positivity, if we just empowered 1 or 2 or 3 people every single day, then this world would be a better place. Type in yes if you know what I'm talking about here, and give me some thumbs up, right? Right, the last one. Okay, this last one, right? You got to be ready for this last one, because this is the one that gets us all, right? And it's going to be so powerful that I'm going to have to write this out for you, okay? So, this one stands for, I have to write it the other way, I think. Hey, I've actually written this the wrong way around because it's actually back to front. Is the word fear, right? Is the word fear. Now, this word fear is actually the thing that stops us from getting to where we want to get to get the results. The only thing standing between you and your success and the life that you want to live right now is this 4-letter word. And do you know what it stands for? You know what it stands for? Give me your meaning of fear. What does fear stand for? In fact, what I want you to do, I'm going to tell you and there's 2 meanings I'm going to give you for fear, right? And this is so powerful that if you can embrace this at a deep level, at a subconscious level, and at a conscious level, then everything's going to change, right? The way you do things is going to change. Because this thing, trait number 10, a lot of successful people who create a lot of success in their life, do you think they have fear in their life? Bobby says, false evidence appearing real. That is one of the meanings. I'm going to give you 2 more meanings for the word fear, right? I'm going to give you 2 more meanings for the word fear. And what I want you to do, by the way, as well, is this, because this is the last point, I want you to share this Facebook Live right now. Right? Around this video, there's going to be a share button. Why? Because I want people to know the true meaning of fear. A lot of people see fear as something that stops them. Do you know what I see fear as? Do you know what successful people see fear as? They use fear as power. They use fear as fuel, right? They use fear as fuel. They use fear to all the people that pointed their finger to you to say that you can't do it is to show them, ha, I told you so, right? It's to prove them wrong. So, Jen says fear is part of success. Absolutely. Jingwen says fear is your weakness. Okay. Victor says false evidence appearing real. Alona says do not fear to be successful. Mike says fear is forget everything. Ah, you got it. Okay. So I'm going to give you the other 2 meanings to fear. Right. By the way, are you ready? If you're ready, you can type in ready. Type in ready. Okay, and I'm going to give this to you, right? The word fear can stand for these 2 meanings. The first meaning is fear, F-E-A-R, can equal Forget everything and run. Forget everything and run. Right? That's the first meaning. Or you can do what successful people do, and people, the bridge, let me show you this. Right? The bridge, okay, between let's say this is point A, and you want to get over to point B, right? Isn't this amazing? I'm doing this backwards live as I'm doing this with you. Okay, the difference between here and here is how you interpret that message here, right? And then this second part, when I read this, I was like, I sat there and I thought for about, it must have been half an hour, just sat there quiet, just breathing and just recollecting these thoughts, and really success is created only when you can do this, right? So the second meaning of fear, right? F-E-A-R stands for face everything and rise. Face everything and rise. So I've got one assignment for you. All right? Would you like me to give you an assignment? If you do, then type an assignment. Because, you know, a lot of you said to me, you know, John, you know, I love these Facebook Lives. Can you do them more often? So and I was doing this on Friday, you know, just to make sure that you guys show up. And if you showed up, then I would carry on doing it. Right? So you want to face everything and rise. So every single time you go to do something, you want to say to yourself, am I going to drop everything and run away? Or am I going to face it and get to the next level? And that's exactly what happens. So the assignment for all of you watching this between now and the next Facebook Live, and you can give me some feedback on how you've got on as well, right? Your assignment is to go out, and the one thing that you've been fearing for the last, I don't know how long, I want you to just do it, right? And I want you to document the thought process. So now all of you are like, oh my God, John, I'm not doing that. Oh my God, and there's no way. Document that process. Write it down. Write out, like, if your thoughts could speak, what would they say? Right? Because unless you can see the BS that's on the paper, that's the thing that's always going to stop you doing it. So for example, if one of the things is walking up to your boss and telling your boss to get on his bike, that might be one thing you might want to do. If it's something that you've been meaning to say to your wife or your husband, right, then it needs to come out, right? If it's something that you've been meaning, you've been putting off, do it. If there's an investment that you've wanted to make, but you're too scared to do it, right? And of course, you know, please make sure you do all your research first, and that is to calculate the risk, then do it, right? If all signs point to a positive and a yes, what have you got to lose? Right? So, like, if the, you know, sometimes when I've done this as well, I've given this exercise many years in the past. A lot of people, you know, after this exercise, they come to me and say, John, you know, I've been wanting to do this for the last 10 years, and only when you told me to do it and gave me this exercise and assignment has it happened. I've had people be in relationships for years that they know that they should not be in, like an abusive relationship, or a relationship that really should not be together, but you're kind of together because you're together because of convenience, right? That is not living, that is just existing. Look, don't lie to yourself, right? Respect one rule and do not lie to yourself, right? Always be in a position where you can confront your fear and you can do it anyway. In fact, there's another good book that I wanted to, if you've just joined, by the way, I gave some book recommendations on the top of this. So we got these ones here as well. But one of the books that I would love to suggest to you is a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It's by Susan Jeffers. And that means it doesn't matter whether you're successful or not successful. It means that everyone on this planet, if you are a human being, you will have fear. You will have fear, right? We've got Jonathan Cunningham. Jonathan, good to see you, man. It's been a while. Get in touch. I'd love to know what you've been up to, right? Okay, so I'm gonna. If you've just joined, by the way, then introduce yourself. And if you've joined halfway through, and you missed all these 10 traits, would you like me to repeat them? If you would like me to repeat all 10 of the 10 traits, I'm gonna go through them like in a Speedy Gonzales, like really quick. If you'd like me to go through all of them, then just type in repeat. So if you type in repeat, if there's enough of you, I'll go through all this in like a minute, just to kind of give you a summary, if you will. So Moses says, we've got Sharon, we've got Laura's just joined back on, we've got Bashu, we've got Ed, we've got Jen, Jolis, Mina, Jonathan Cunningham, Maxine English. Who else we got? We've got Krisha says repeat. Maxine says repeat. Mina says okay. Busha. Okay, so here goes. Give me some thumbs, give me some likes, and give me some love hearts, and we'll go through this. 3, 2, 1, go. Trait number 1: always work on your dreams in your spare time. Wake up an hour early. Go to bed an hour early, and you'll have an extra month in a whole year. All right. Trait number 2, get self-educated. There's 4 different ways you can do this. Read a lot of books, buy a lot of audio programs, attend as many seminars as you can, go and attend webinars and Facebook Lives like this. Trait number 3, put in the work, make a commitment, do it every single day, even when you don't feel like doing it, even if you have no time. Trait number 4 is have the courage and take the risks. If you don't, there'll be zero chance, but if you do, there will be some chance, right? And also take a leap of faith. Jump out of that plane so you don't have the option to get back up. Trait number 5 is ask for help. Ask and you shall receive. You can't do everything yourself. If you have the mindset of, if I want something doing right, do it myself, you will always be in the same position because you'll never progress. You'll never be able to scale. So you must take the time to train others. And if you don't, then you have to ask and you have to learn how. Trait number 6 is to protect your time. This one for me is at the top. Warren Buffett says the reason why he's so successful is because he says no to everything. So if things don't empower you or serve you, say no to it, right? Get rid of pointless meetings, have an agenda, stick to time. And also, and I missed this one out actually, you need to schedule time and block it out for yourself. So that means in your calendar, block out time for me time. Right? So just say like today, you put in here me time for 2 hours, right? Call it me time. You need to block that in. Otherwise, it's going to get sucked into the void of other people's agendas, other people's meetings, and then you won't have the time to become successful, right? 7 is never stop until you get the result you want. Remember the tortoise and the the tortoise and the hare? Always move forward, even if it's at 1 mile an hour, right? When your body says stop, keep going. Right? Unless you have a serious health condition, right? Be relentless. Number 8. Trait number 8 is work on your health, right? For more energy. Work on your nutrition. Lots of water, supplements, meditation, yoga, training, gym. Get a personal trainer if you can, right? They'll hold you accountable. Trait number 9 is stop worrying about what other people think. Stop caring about what they think. Focus on the 80% of people and get rid of the 20% of people that are not loving what you do, right? And don't worry if you fail because you want to fail fast, right? Number 10 is fear, right? Get rid of fear. Fear stands for false evidence appearing real. It stands for forget everything and run. Or we want to use fear to our power, to empower us for energy and our fuel, which is to mean to face everything and rise. Face everything and rise, okay? Now, there's different types of fear. There's actually 4. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of success. It's like, John, what if I do this and I get really successful? And also, there's the big one, fear of change, right? Fear of change, right? So I just wanted to kind of, go through this stuff and kind of give you these 10 traits that I've noticed. And by the way, as we go through doing this, there's going to be more and more of this stuff that also comes up as well. So I want to thank all of you for your time. If you love what I've talked about, like, comment, and share. If you have any questions whatsoever, type your questions in for me, and either myself, Matthew, Marcus or Nicholas, these are my right-hand people in my office. They'll come back and they'll answer your questions for you. In fact, if some of you would like to have some coaching, and by the way, if you like some coaching, type in the word coaching. If you'd like one of my team to give you some coaching on a one-to-one basis, they normally charge for their time, but I'm going to get them all to add value for you, and I'm going to get them to sponsor their time so they can serve. I always said that when I make it to the top, I'm going to give back, I'm going to help others, and I really want other people to take that mentality. And once we've added value to you, the only condition is you have to help other people. Is that a deal? Type in deal, right? So if you would like some coaching, just type in the word coaching, COACHING, just type in the word coaching, and then one of either Marcus, Matthew, Nicholas will actually come back to you and message you, and they'll give you 15 minutes of their time to find out what your challenges are, and what your problems are. And it really helps to kind of get rid of that roadblock. In fact, a lot of the times my Marcus, he always finds that the thing that stops people from achieving what they want in life is actually in here. Would you agree with that? It's in here. So if you agree with that, give me a thumbs up, type in yes. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, because I'm going to take this video and put it on YouTube, there should be a subscribe button around here. Click subscribe, and also make sure you add me to Instagram and watch my daily stories, because then you can see what I do on a daily basis. So a few days ago, I did a day in the life of an entrepreneur. So I showed you exactly what I did every single day, what I eat, what I drink. I tend to have a little bit too much Starbucks, but that's cool. So yeah, again, thank you for making the effort, the time, especially on a day like today when you could be spending time with your family, when you could be sitting and watching a movie, where you could go out for a dinner, go out for drinks with your friends, but yet you made the commitment and the effort to be here. And you know what? If you guys keep doing this, I'm going to take time on my schedule to give back and to teach you. So I really, really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate you taking the time. And also, I got one last favor as well to ask of you, and that is, this week coming up, I want you to find someone who I think you can help. Right? I would just do one good deed. Right? Just find someone where you see them, and then if you notice someone's in trouble and you know they're in trouble, just go out of your way to help them. Right? Because I think if all of us did this, watching this, I think, again, this world would be a much better place. So my name is John Lee, the author of The Wealth Dragon Way. Oh, by the way, just so if you don't know what it is, it's this one here. This is my book. And I look forward to seeing you in the next session. So, and by the way, give me some ideas on what you want the next Facebook live sessions to be about. Until then, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.